Now, what's up?
Hey, Jack. What's up, everybody?
Hi.
Greetings.
Hello, Jake.
Greetings, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. It's good to be here on a building the Toolkit live stream. Shout out to, I see we got Creative, we got Josh, Rasta in the chat, everybody across YouTube and Twitter. Great to see you guys here today. We are going to be doing a Building the Toolkit live stream. We can talk a little bit about it. Unfortunately, literally 2 minutes before we were about to go live, a critical piece of back-end infrastructure, a third-party service that's needed in order to publish with the toolkit, very commonly used back-end service, went down. Like the worst timing.
Terrible timing.
Terrible timing. So they'll be kind of limited in what we're able to do today. We're probably gonna have to postpone. Unfortunately, literally could not have been worse timing. But we wanted to come and tell you guys first. We're probably gonna have to postpone till tomorrow. But in the meantime, we can definitely, I think, spend a couple minutes if we wanted to chat about all the new stuff that came this week with Spatial, which is what we were going to show and work on today. But unfortunately, because of that third-party service being down, the third-party provider being down, our hands are kind of tied with what we can show. But yeah, so this week, we talked about a lot on Twitter Spaces last night. For those of us who joined on Twitter Spaces, we had hundreds of you on the Twitter Space last night. Really exciting.
Great space last night.
Yeah, Anand, our CEO, was there. Tyrone was hosting. Gia, our head of partnerships, was there. It was a great time. We had lots of the community there because we launched the spatial economy this week, which was super, super exciting. Because now there's all kinds of ways for our creators to monetize and add more interactivity and their own economies into their spaces, which is super, super cool. So today we are going to show, and Jack and I were going to work together on building a space that integrates some of those new features that allows you to integrate spatial coins, which is the new platform currency, which is not a cryptocurrency. It's just a virtual currency. If you're familiar with Roblox and Robux, it's a very similar concept to that. Allows you to sell items, virtual items in your spaces, everything from, could be avatars to auras or outfits, to even ways to ticket your spaces, or add things like consumables, which we just announced in our Discord yesterday, which is a way to basically have an item that you can use for a limited amount of time and gives you, additional enhancements. Maybe it makes you be invincible, or lets you fly, or gives you a speed boost, or something like that. All these things can be sold with spatial coins, which you can then take and either hold and spend on other creators, or cash out once you hit certain minimums and cash it out to real money, which is really, really exciting, because it gives creators, right, all different kinds of ways to make money from their experiences now, which is super, super cool.
Yeah, we've been building towards this for a long time, so it's very exciting that we can finally talk about this and have it out for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So if there's any questions about coins, about the spatial economy, drop them in the chat. We'll try and spend a couple minutes here answering them. But unfortunately, today it's going to be really short, because I'm just keeping an eye on the side here if anything changes with that third-party provider, in the next couple of minutes. But otherwise, we'll probably have to postpone, because they'll probably be down for, I'd say, at least another hour, depending. But if you have any questions about coins, about spatial economy, definitely let us know. Just to go through it, let me bring up, I'll bring up our docs here. I'll just kind of walk through them a little bit to explain. Maybe we can spend a couple of minutes just explaining what this is and show the docs.
Totally.
I'll share my screen here. Give me a sec.
No, take your time. All right, here we go.
Here we go. So this week we launched the spatial economy. Really, really cool. Again, there's a lot of different things that comes into that. I'm actually going to go into the monetization tab here. So with coins, this is something that anyone in spatial can purchase. You can purchase packs of coins and then use those to spend on items in spatial. So everything from 100 coins for $1 up to 6,200 plus coins for $50. And there's going to be some spaces rolling out soon that allow you to actually really have enhanced experiences using coins. So things like buying potions, or like I said, avatars or power-ups or other things like that. You can then put into your experiences. There is another type of currency that we launched as well called world currency, which is basically like your own custom currency, or some might be familiar with it as grind tokens, basically rewarding visitors to your spaces or players in your spaces this custom currency if they accomplish things, like if you complete a quest, or maybe you enter a certain area, or even if you just join the space. Really, you can define the logic for how you award world currency, and you can even give it its own name, right? You can call it Jack coins or Shroot bucks, or really whatever you like.
Yeah.
And give it its own icon as well, and then reward that to people. Sometimes I think of it as, if you've ever been to Chuck E. Cheese, and
love Chuck E. Cheese.
Play the games and you get the tickets for playing the games. Maybe you get some tickets. They should give you tickets for eating the pizza there too, because it's just like, they're notoriously bad pizza. That doesn't even count pizza. But you get these tickets, and then you can go right to the prize booth and get prizes for the tickets. So world currency is kind of like that, where they're not tied to any real world value. You can't cash out world currency, but you can use world currency in a creator's shop, in their space, to then acquire digital items that would then go in your backpack. And the backpack was also something that we introduced this week as well, which basically, I don't think we have I'm not bringing up the docs for it here. I'm trying to find that. I don't think we have that in the docs here, but the backpack is effectively, it's a new button in the spatial UI, let me bring it up here. I'm going to go into Tokyo Kitty Circuit. Let me share my other window. But
question, Jake.
Yeah.
So if I am in a space and there's world currency in there, can I pull out my credit card and buy world currency?
No. Yeah. So not tied to any physical or real world type of currency. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to share my screen here. Having a little issue.
So if you want to buy something with real world currency, that's only the spatial coins. And so that's the clarification for those in the chat asking.
Exactly. So actually, so for example, so here in Tokyo Kitty Drift, awesome space by Garden Bee, and actually a collective by a lot of different creators in the community who've all actually contributed to the space. It's really, really awesome. So here you can, if you actually, if we go up here to the front, they actually show you how you can earn their world currency, which is Meow coins, which I love.
I like Meow coins, yeah.
So the whole, like, all this whole space is, of course, racing your vehicle around. So as you race, you actually get timed, and depending on how fast you go around the track, you'll get rewarded with a badge and then also Meow coins. So if you go around the track in under 90 seconds, you'll get 200 Meow coins. And you can see I've got 560 Meow coins. I've done a few laps on the track. My time's been getting better and better. So now at the top right, I have 560 Meow coins. How many times in a row can you say Meow coins? A little tongue twister.
Meow.
So I can then click on here and go into the shop, and now see that there's all these different items that I can buy in the shop that I can then use in this world. Like I can get some smoke, I can get a bomb or mud, and use this when racing other people, like Mario Kart, right? I have these power-ups that then I can acquire and put into my backpack and use in a race, which is...
You even got the banana.
Yeah, you got to get the banana.
Spin them out with the banana, yeah. That'd
Exactly.
be fun to try.
Yeah, so I can get, like, let's buy this banana. I've got enough Meow coins for it, so I'm going to get the banana. And now you can see the banana, which is a limited, they marked as a limited item to this space, has now been added to my backpack. So if I go here and now down to my backpack, I can also press I on the keyboard to open up the backpack, and you see there's a little blue icon, meaning there's something new in there. I can go to my backpack, and these are all the different items that I've collected across spatial. So I've got tons of different avatars. I've got emotes like this spin kick. I got some Marvel avatars from Presby Space, which are really cool. And then I have the banana that I can use as well. So this is something that I can use when I'm driving in the car. So if I go into one of these cars, get in, I'm gonna start a race here. I love how they added
sound effects.
Yeah, I love how they added like the timer at the top is super cool. These trails behind the vehicle is awesome. I can go into my backpack and use a banana. And I just dropped a banana on the track. Where'd it go?
Oh no, banana.
Oh no, I saw it there a second ago.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you ran over it yourself. That could have been the case.
I ran over myself. So yeah, I can then drop the banana on the track. So I now, as I'm doing more of these races, I'm gaining more Meow coins, and I can keep getting power-ups.
So you got a whole stash of bananas if you wanted to, maybe one day.
Exactly. I can just start loading the track with bananas, which is awesome. So that's like world currency, and that's how you can use world currency in this. I think it's a great example. Now with spatial coins, we'll show an example here. This is a little preview of a game. It hasn't been announced yet, but we'll show a little preview of it today. This is Punch Hero. We've seen a lot of people discovering it already in the platform. This is a game that we've actually built in-house at Spatial, and we're going to be open sourcing to the community. So it's meant to be really an example of everything you can do with the toolkit. And our team built this using the out-of-the-box toolkit, so nothing, no special sauce or secret code or anything like that. So all built with the existing toolkit today. So as we're building this game and other games in the future, we're learning, what it, really putting ourselves in your shoes, the creator's shoes, and then feeding those learnings back into the game development, into the toolkit, so you have the capabilities, what you need to build great games. And we're also going to be open sourcing this game, so the different components that you're seeing in this game, like different interactivities and stuff like that, we'll be making available so people can take those components, remix them, bring them into your own games, and really level up your own experiences. See, we get mechanics in here. This big Bob the Builder looking guy.
Yeah, that was like Bob the Builder.
Yeah. So in this space, we have both items for like a world currency. You can see we have keys that we can collect that unlock gates. We can also earn strength to power and punch through these walls. But then we have other things that we have available for spatial coins. So if we go up to here, we have the VIP pass. If I click on that, if I click on it or press F to purchase, it's going to bring up this dialogue and says, hey, for a VIP pass, which I need in order to access a leveled up punching bag, which helps me train faster, I can buy this for spatial coins. But you can see here, I don't have any spatial coins at the moment. I've spent all of them, but I can buy them for if they cost 499 spatial coins, which is about $5. And I can purchase the coins package in order to get the VIP pass. So I can click buy coins and item. And I won't do it here because we're on a live stream, but I can put in my credit card info, which would be saved, and then click buy, and then I would then get the VIP pass, and then I have 1 coin left over. So when I do that, that's those spatial coins go to the creator of the game, and they can then hold those coins and spend them on other creators, or if they hold a minimum of 18,000 coins, and also for a minimum of 45 days, then they can go and cash those out, connect their bank account, and then cash those out to real money. So this is ways you can start to see integrating coins into an experience where it gives you these power-ups. It's not pay to win, but it's and it's not pay to play, but it's just kind of pay if you want like additional features and things like that. But you can definitely play and win and beat the game without having to pay anything at all. But this is for players now gives you a different avenue to enhance the experience. So what we were going to do today was show how to integrate aspects of that into an experience. But for those who are just joining us, unfortunately, right before we went live, a key third-party backend platform that's used to help publish Creator Toolkit packages went down outside of our control.
Great timing.
Perfect. Literally like 2 minutes beforehand. I have the receipts. 2 minutes before went down. So we won't be able to go through developing today. We're going to postpone to later this week. We are doing a live stream tomorrow with Hawa and Jack to kind of surfing spatial. Actually, I just got a message from someone on our team that GitHub may be back up.
I have their status page open right now, and a lot of stuff just went from red to yellow. So
okay, so we can probably give this a try. I'm going to take a look here and see if maybe we can do a little bit of something. Give me 1 second. We'll see if this works. All right, I'm seeing it back up. Let's give it another try.
Okay.
See what we can do. We might be in luck, which is exciting.
That would be very exciting. That'd be also great timing again. So it's like they did this just for us. No.
They did 100%. So Jack, if you want to try publishing that scene again.
Yeah.
What we were doing before, and we can check to see if that goes through.
On it right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing other builds going through correctly now, so I think we might be in business.
Nice. Just letting things load up real fast. All right. I'm going to test it first, make sure that works, and then I will publish it up.
Cool. And LM asked what time this stream is tomorrow. I'm checking here. I believe
it's set for noon.
Yeah, 12 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow, so 12 p.m. Eastern. So that's in about 20 hours from now.
We'll have a couple special. Well, Howell will be on it. Jake, you may be joining in too, and I believe Stephanie from our team will be joining as well. So we'll have a nice squad of Spatians surfing tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right, so it did test for me. I did get a blank space again, but let me try and publish this now.
All right.
Publish, continue. When it comes up with the ignore or reload, it's ignore, right?
It could be either one.
Okay.
You can share your screen whenever you get a chance to.
Yep.
Let's see what's.
Here we go. Okay, we're just loading. Publishing is happening.
Keep an eye on our build machines here. I see it.
Yep.
So yeah, so what we're going to try and do today, obviously we're a little delayed, but looks like we'll get something off the ground. Is integrating spatial coins into the experience. The concept that we have, very, very simple ticket, basically like a ticket, an entry ticket. Did my string go down?
Nope, you're good. It's just a little choppy. You're chopping up. I don't know if it's me. I hope it's not me. It could be me though. But
yeah,
you're back now. You're back now. Yeah, I hear you. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I went out there for a second. Okay, it looks like your publish went through, which is good.
Yes, it does.
So let's keep an eye on that. I'm just going to make sure that gets going here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's running, so that's good. Yeah, so what was I saying? So yeah, so today what we're going to do is take a sample space that we have in the Creator Toolkit. This is one of the sample scenes. And we're going to basically create a ticket that you have to purchase with spatial coins in order to go through the doorway, which is really, really cool. So right now, what Jack has open is the space feature sample scene in the toolkit. So if you download the starter template from docs.spatial.io and get the starter template, this will be one of the scenes that you have in there. So we're just going to take this and modify it slightly. So we already have the doorway and everything like that. So I think the first thing we're going to want to do, we can keep everything the same. We won't mess around too much with stuff. Basically, let's focus on that door that you have, that glass doorway structure. And right now there's a trigger set up on it. So when, if you click on that Thunderbolt icon in front of the door, that represents the trigger. So yeah, click on that thunderbolt. Yeah, there you go. Just
There we
once.
go.
Yeah. So you see there's that green cube, that outline green cube there, that
Yep.
transparent green cube. So that represents the trigger area. So when an avatar goes into that trigger area, it's going to effectively, flip the trigger. Whatever logic is defined in that trigger event is going to happen on enter. So within there, let me make this full screen so I can see a little better.
Okay.
So within the trigger event on the right hand side, down like in that section, you see there's an on enter event.
Yep.
And there's also kind of at the bottom an on exit event. You can click that to expand it. So
Yep.
what happens is on enter, when an avatar enters that cube, we're going to define things that happen. And then on exit, so when someone goes from being in the cube to out of the cube, then we're going to also have something happen as well. Those things that can happen are a unity event, basically things like turning things on and off, or running could be running a visual script, or really any number of things, changing a texture, basically any sort of unity event. There's also animator events, so you can also play different animations as well. And then there's quest events. So quest events are specifically spatial quests. So within the quest system, so you can say when someone goes into this trigger, we're going to, we can start a quest. So maybe a quest only starts when you enter a certain area, or we can also say that entering that area is a task within the quest, like, enter this area or find this area. So we're going to mark a task off in the quest. There's all different types of logic related to quests that we can integrate in there. So today we're just going to do, I think, really something simple. We already have all of this set up for us, which is nice. The first thing that we're going to want to do is actually let's remove, well, for the sake of having to make sure for reference, if you just want to duplicate that trigger event box collider, so if you click on it and just do Command D or duplicate, and then just,
So I got another one down here.
Yeah, and then in the scene, you see you have the blue, green, and red arrows. Just move it over.
Yep.
Just move it over to the side, just so it's like out of the way.
Yep. Now
So
we got two.
If there's any things we need to reference in here, like the animator that's being called. And then then on the one that's in front of the door, just click on the one that's in front.
This thing?
No, so that's a reflection probe. So that's regards to lighting, which we could get into a different time. But that's where that like light is reflecting. Basically, it takes a sample of the scene at that point and reflects the lighting on surfaces in that area.
Okay.
That's a whole other other for us to get into. So yeah, okay, we click that trigger component. What we're going to want to do is first delete the animator events, because we're going to trigger those in a different way. So on the right hand side under the trigger event, just click anywhere.
Like minus right here?
Yeah, you can click minus, and then the same for the on exit event. We're just going to delete those.
Now we got nothing.
Now we got nothing. So nothing happens when we trigger it, but we're going to want to trigger stuff another way. And we're going to want to basically check for a ticket. So you can only enter this space if you own the ticket to get into the venue, pretty much. So to do that, first we're going to need a way for you to purchase the ticket, and we can do this just through visual scripting. Basically, the first step we're going to want to do is actually create the ticket itself, so that we can reference it in the scene. So to do that, if you want to go into Spatial Studio,
okay.
So open your browser and spatial.io/studio. You've got that open. Let's refresh here to see if your package is finished publishing. Looks like it hasn't yet. Okay, so we're going to need that first. So while we wait for that, and let me just double check on the status of this for you. So this is, yeah, it's still being built. So we'll need a few minutes here.
Okay.
For this to function. But in the meantime, we can start to build the kind of visual scripting logic in here. So if you go onto that trigger component item there, the trigger ramp.
Yep.
And
I have a question for you real fast.
Yeah,
Is there a way for me to make the UI in Unity, like, can I command plus to make it like text bigger so that it's easy for you and viewers to see, or is this just how it is? If I can zoom.
The interface, good question.
Yeah.
You probably change the aspect ratio of your monitor. Make it be bigger.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you're chopping up real fast. So I'll just stick with how it was, because I think when I'm in full screen and when people are viewing in full screen, it's easier. Yeah. Yeah, because this is a 4K screen, so that's why it's so tiny. Hopefully,
yeah. So am I back?
You're back now, yes. Welcome back.
Connection today is horrendous. So yeah, I use a tool called EasyRes, and that lets me just like really quickly on the fly change the resolution of my screen to like different presets. So sometimes when I'm doing like recordings and stuff, like I'm also on like a 4K screen, I'll change it to like 1080p, just for like
that's good to know
and stuff like that. Yeah. But something to keep in mind for the future. But for now,
yeah,
we'll be able to, when we bring up visual scripting, we'll be able to zoom in on stuff. So if you click on under the trigger event on the right hand side of the Unity window,
yep.
if you click on add component at the bottom,
yeah,
and then search for script machine.
Script machine. Yep. Select it.
Yep. Click that. And then click new. And we can call this like purchase or check ticket.
There we go. Check ticket made.
And then click edit graph. And we're going to jump into
a VS node graph.
VS node graph, exactly.
I got a warning. Your Unity preferences are set to reload scripts during play mode.
That's yeah. Well, you can just click
change later. Or now.
You can click change now. The blue button. It's gonna at normal, like the first time you open like visual scripting, it just has to basically configure itself. So this might take a minute. But basically, what we're going to do here is through visual scripting, check that when the trigger event is triggered, check if you have the ticket in your backpack, and if not, then purchase it and add it to your backpack. Nice. All right, cool. So we are open. So these first two nodes that come up are standard. We don't need them now. Basically, on start basically means when you're building with visual scripting, there's like a trigger, like something happens. It's like if this, then that, like something is triggered and then something happens as a result of that trigger. Mm-hmm. On start is kind of standard Unity language for as soon as the scene loads, basically when it's 100% and loads right when you jump into a space, that's when the scene or the space starts. So you can trigger something to happen as soon as the space starts. Maybe you want to give someone, world currency as soon as the space starts. Like, here, you joined, here's 10, Jack coins or whatever. You can do that then. And then on update is basically every frame, right? So this scene is running at, somewhere between 30 and 60 frames per second. So 30 to 60 times a second, it's going to be checking for something, which could be really bad for performance if you're doing it a lot. Depending so we don't need either of these right now because we're not always checking for these things. So you can just click and drag and highlight both of them and then hit delete. So you can multi-select and hit delete.
Nice.
So we want to start this on the trigger event. So if you search for a trigger, and there's
a bunch of on trigger, whatever.
Yeah, so you can see everything has different logos. There'll be one that has the spatial logo on it. So there's spatial on enter. There you go, spatial trigger. That's on exit and on enter. So you can choose the on enter.
Yep.
There you go. And then it's referencing this. So we're referencing like this trigger event. So that's when it says this in the center there.
Yeah.
So on trigger, then there's an arrow on the right-hand side. So that's how we connect nodes. If you click on that, that little arrow there, click and drag and then release. Now we can connect it to something else. So when you enter in this trigger, then we want to check that you have something in your backpack, like you have, in this case, the ticket.
Okay.
So you can search for check backpack. Should be 2 words. Or just try backpack.
Spatial add get backpack item, or
get backpack item.
Okay. Now we have a few more options on this node.
Yeah. So basically what we're doing here is now in the get backpack item node, we're checking if someone has that item, and we can specify the item ID. This is where we're going to need to create the ticket. In this case, our access ticket in Spatial Studio.
Yeah. And then there now.
Reference it.
Here we go.
All right, cool. All right, so let's take a pause in Unity now that this is live, and go into Spatial Studio. So basically what we're doing now is we need someone is entering this, wants to get through this door. They need a ticket in order to get into the door. So we need to create a ticket. The ticket doesn't have to be represented by a 3D object in space. It's basically just like a property, right? Like it's like yes or no, like you have a ticket or you don't. It doesn't have to be a vehicle or like an aura or something that's represented in physical space,
or something hanging off your neck. No.
Yeah. Right. Like you could, if you wanted to have something like a physical component to it, like you could do that. But in order for this, logic to work, you don't need a physical item. It's really just it's like right now when you get a ticket, it's just like a QR code on your phone or something in Apple Wallet or whatever, right? Like there's no physical item reference. So we don't need to create it. So if you click on Untitled World, now we can, within our world, and this space that we're building in is a space within that world, we can associate different things with it. So you can associate different items. So those are Unity packages. So things like avatars or custom prefabs, emotes, avatar attachments. These are all things that we can associate with this world or sell in the space. Since you haven't published any of those yet, there won't be any to choose from. And then the other is a basic item. So this is something that isn't represented by a Unity package or necessarily a 3D asset, but it's something that you would have in your backpack, and the fact that you have it in your backpack opens up possibilities in the space. So in this case, we're going to create a basic item and call it like an access ticket or whatever we want to call it. Call it entry ticket. And then you can give it a description. You need this to get in, exactly. And then also at the top, we'll want to have a thumbnail. So if you want to do like a quick Google search for like an entry ticket PNG, yeah, and make sure it's a PNG. So if you search in Google at the top, just add in .png.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, that's one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's see if it accepts that in here.
Yeah, it also has to be within 1 megabyte too. Looks like it is. Cool.
Oh, aspect ratio is wrong. Hold on. Let me go back and maybe just do a better Google search.
Yeah, just find something that's a 1-to-1.
This might work.
Yeah, it might work. I remember those tickets. Oh my gosh, with the orange
Yeah.
numbers. Throwback.
Yep. Classic tickets. 1-to-1, still not 1-to-1 yet. Hold on.
Try and open that in open in preview. And then
like
you go to tools and then adjust size. So yeah, try and if you fit into, there's a 1-to-1 like at the 640 by 640 or 1024. Actually do 1024 by 1024. I think that's fine.
There we go.
Try that. Oh, it's still not 1-to-1. Go back into adjust size. And then in so right next to that though, see there's a little no, slow down.
Sorry.
The lock icon.
Yeah.
Unlock it. What that basically does is just like the width, it's going to change the height to the same dimensions, but we're just going to like force for this. It's not going to look great. Just force this now to do like, you can do that. That's fine. Yeah. And just save that.
Okay.
And try and upload that. Okay, it won't look great, but it should work. Yeah, there you go.
Better than nothing.
Yeah. All right, so we got entry ticket, we've got a picture, we've got a little description. The item type is basic, and we're going to want to make this available for sale. So you want to enable that checkbox, and then within here, we can choose to either make it available for sale for spatial coins, or we haven't done this yet, but if we created our own world currency, that would be an option in the dropdown as well. So you can create world currency. So we're going to do spatial coins. Let's make this priced. What do you think? 100 spatial coins. It's like $1.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really going on at the event today, so we want to overcharge people.
No. Yeah.
And then the next option is show and shop. So the reason why this is an option is so within spatial, you go into spaces, you may have noticed the shop button in the top right corner. So you can click that when you go into a space and buy items, right up front. So if you want people to be able to buy items at any point in your experience, you can have them available in the shop. You can have items in the shop. Some are in world currency, some are in coins. A single item like this ticket can't be priced in both. It's either priced in coins or it's priced in world currency. So we can have this available to show in the shop. Why not? So if you want to enable that, so I'll show in the shop. In some cases, you may not want it to show in the shop if you only want that item to be purchased in a certain context. Maybe it's in a certain area, or after you complete a certain quest, something is only available for purchase then. If it's relevant to a certain context, or maybe it might spoil something later in your experience. You don't want that always available in the shop. You can, through visual scripting, make something appear in the shop later. So even if you don't show it in the shop now, there are ways to kind of script that out so it shows later.
That's cool.
Then going down, we have a couple different items. Stackable is if you want the person to be able to own multiple of these. So if they're like, reusable basically, or maybe it's like a particle effect, like you can, or like the bananas from earlier, right, in the Tokyo Kitty race space. You want to be able to purchase, like, maybe I want to buy 10 of them, so I can use them, 10 times. Then they can be stackable, basically, right? I can have a stack of them. And the consumable is something we just released yesterday in the toolkit, and that basically allows you to use the item, and then set. If you click that, we won't do it for now, but you can enable that just so people can see the features. You can set the duration that that item is consumed for. So maybe it's like a potion that gives you a 30-second long power up, and then a cooldown time, meaning you can only use it after that cooldown ends. So you want to give someone a power up that lasts for 30 seconds, and then once it finishes, they can't use it again for another 60 seconds or something like that. So that's what consumables are for. In this case, it's a ticket, so we don't need to have it be a consumable necessarily, or stackable. You can disable that too. And then universal item. Basic items can't be universal items, since a basic item is just related to that world, that context, right? In this case, a ticket. There would be no reason for someone to have this ticket, with them in other worlds. Things that can be universal are things like auras or avatars, things like that, things that you can take with you other places. Prefab objects like vehicles cannot be universal, because that could potentially break someone else's experience, or allow you to like beat someone else's experience, or have it not be as pleasant, for them if it doesn't make sense in context. All right, so we have our ticket. Let's create it. So if you click the create item button,
success.
And then the last thing we need to do, at the very top, there's that published button. We just want to make sure we publish it. So if you enable that toggle and publish it, now it can actually be referenced in Unity. And you see when we did that, we got an item ID, the item field. So that's what we're going to need to reference in our scene. So So if you want to copy that item ID, and then switch to Unity.
Oh, and look, item ID. How convenient.
Who would have thought? How did that get there? So you can paste it there in that field and get back item. So if it's owned, so you can drag that to the right. It's starting to get blurry. My connection's starting to drop out a little bit. So I can't really screen super well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of options now. Like it's another search box.
Yeah. And you're not using OBS, right? I think Creative was like.
No, yeah. We're using StreamYard.
Or just, StreamYard's not through OBS.
If I do this, does that make it bigger for you?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay.
It helps a little bit, yeah. Still, it might be my connection where it's a little blurry.
Potentially, yeah.
On my end. So we want to basically do, so if you kind of right click off of that just to see the other options there.
Yeah. So we have a regular arrow or is owned and then amount, and these two have dots, but there's a regular arrow at the top.
Yeah. So basically, so we want to, so if you go do is owned, drag that to the right. Actually, sorry for click if. So we want to do an if, like an if statement. So basically, this is saying like if it is owned or if it isn't owned. So if it, and then the green arrow from the get backpack item,
Yes.
if you drag that to the green arrow on if, so we're connecting those two together there.
Okay, connected.
So if it's not owned, so from false, click and drag. Then we want to purchase the backpack item. So
purchase shop item. Yep.
Purchase shop item.
And then do I put that item ID in there?
Yeah. And there's ways where you wouldn't have to type in the item ID every single time by creating an object variable, but won't touch on that today.
Okay.
And just I see a question on changing the price. So with spatial coins, that's one thing I wanted to call out. Spatial coins is in a closed beta right now, so anyone can go in and get coins and use them and spend them on spaces that are going to be incorporating them and do incorporate them. But in order for you to sell coins, you will have to apply and be approved in that closed beta. So do check that out. You should see in Spatial Studio, if you don't have access to coins when you're creating an item, there will be a link in there that takes you to a quick form to fill out to apply for access to the closed beta. And we'll be approving people into that beta, over the summer. It's going to be a slow rollout, but basically we want to do our due diligence, make sure that the items that you're selling are of course IP that you own and you have the rights to sell, and then of course adhere to the community guidelines. So this is a manual approval process to ensure that the content on Spatial follows all those rules. So you may not all see that, or I may not show you the coins option. The option for using world currency works very, very similarly to spatial coins. You'll just be getting the coins purchase pop-up instead of being able to just transact with world currency. So it's something to just keep in mind. All right, let's jump back in here. So we're checking backpack item. If false, we're going to purchase that shop item. And then in either case, with both, like if it's true and if it succeeds, then if someone purchases the shop item, then they have it in their backpack. Oops. And if they already own it, then what we're going to want to do is open the door. Basically play that door opening animation. So if you go to, click and drag true, and then search for animator.
Animator, yep. Okay, and then we have a bunch of plays.
Yeah, do play state name.
Okay.
And then we're going to want to reference that animator. So if you click, so where it says this, click that dot there. This is where it's not there. So if you
is this one of the things where I can drag like the element into there? Is that possible?
That should potentially work. We need that the animator or that door basically in the scene.
Okay, so like each door is its own thing. So it looks like there's structured door frame right and structured door frame left. And they're both in here.
At the top level, there should be an animator tied to it. Yeah, oh, I just saw it.
Spatial starter structure, synced animator.
Yeah, so that see that animator right above synced animator? There's structure.
Yeah, on the right or left side over here?
Yeah, on the right. Right now it's kind of behind. There's a spatial logo on the screen, and it's kind of a little behind that like on the stream screen.
Oh, I see. Here, right here, and not anymore.
All right, cool. Yeah, so see under animator, go down a little bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's structure.
Yep.
So that item that you have selected in the scene hierarchy on the left, spatial starter structure.
Yep.
You should be able to drag that, I think, into there. Or actually to the left of that, to the left of that. In the visual scripting window where it says this, right to the left of that, there's a little dot.
Yeah.
Drag that. And then do the animator literal. Oh, you had it right there at the top, actually.
Oh, this animator literal?
Yeah, that one works.
Okay.
You should be able to drag in the animator into there. Actually, I'll have to be search for it in the project properties at the bottom of your Unity window.
Okay, down here.
Yeah, I think you're.
Okay, and so that would be inside of.
You can just search for it. So if on the right hand, like.
Oh, I see. And so I want to find.
Search for a structure.
Structure. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Oh, yep. Nope. Yep. Oh, yeah, that one.
Okay. And drag it in to here?
I believe so. Oh.
Oh, now that just got it right there. Hold on. Try that again.
So to bring in the. It's not that one. We'll need the animator. That's an animation. Try That's where I'm getting a little. You know what we can do in the meantime? Instead of playing the animation, we can just kind of like hide the door. Basically make the door go away.
Okay.
Animations, I'm always a little out of my element with animations and things like that. So remove the animator component. Yeah, just hit delete. And then if true, so yeah, drag that. And then there should be a set active.
Game object set active value.
Yeah, exactly. And then to the left of that, yeah, drag that to the left. And then game object literal.
Okay.
And then you should be able to drag in the door object into that. So if you find the door object in the scene, the structured door.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones a part of, but yeah, I think this is all door. Well, there's like door 1 root, door 2 root, and door 3 root. Oh, because there's 3 doors. So this is the first door.
So just that one. Yeah, so drag that into the game object there. Oh, is that not?
Come on. Can I pull it up here?
Why isn't it? You know what you can do? Under on the left-hand side of visual scripting, you see there's like the blackboard and there's different variables. Do an object variable and then, a new variable name, type in door. Well, you have to click, it's confusing.
Oh, yeah.
The name first.
Or plus.
And then under type, do game object.
Yep.
And then drag that door root into that game object value.
There we go. It's there now.
Okay, so now back in the graph, and delete that game object. And let's
this one.
No, that one's fine.
Okay.
Next to this, to the left of it, just drag that again, and then go to variables at the bottom. And then we created an object variable. Click object, and then get door. So that's so now we could have done this with the item ID also, like a similar type of thing, where instead of typing it in every single time, it's now a variable. So we can just refer to that variable every time. It's like a little easier from a reusability perspective.
Yeah, that would save time.
So basically so now in the game object set active node, we're saying this door, we're saying it active, and to see the value is empty.
Mm-hmm.
So you can click that, but what that's going to do is set it active to yes. It's a Boolean, which means on or off, yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's empty, that means we're setting the active to null, or to translate, we're turning it off. So what that's going to do is, when you go into that trigger, it's going to check to see if you have that backpack item, that ticket.
Mm-hmm.
If it's owned, the door, in this case, we're it turn off. And then if it's not, then you're going to purchase it. I heard another.
Okay.
Did I hear another voice?
No. No, we're good.
Okay. Thought I heard someone's voice for a second. Thought I heard Waldo's voice. He was like, "That's not how you do
it." Yelling at us from afar.
Yeah, I'm just hearing engineers' voices in my head. Cool.
That's a good explanation, though.
Yeah. So now this is how visual scripting works, right? Like we're taking this step-by-step logic one at a time. And for those who aren't familiar with scripting or coding or anything like that, this is at one level how coding kind of works visually, right? That's what I call visual scripting. For many people, it's easier to do coding, typing it out kind of scripting. That is something we're looking into supporting potentially later this year. It's a little more complicated on the back end than you might expect in terms of security issues and things like that, when you can allow anyone to code anything versus through visual scripting. There's so much you can do. You can use any of the Unity nodes, and then of course the spatial nodes as well to trigger logic and stuff in these experiences. Cool. So
nice.
So the last thing we want to do is when you purchase, if you just kind of zoom in on the node graph again, when you purchase that shop item, we also want to then set the door active to null, basically like hide the door.
Mm-hmm. So
we can do the same thing once it's successful. So on the purchase shop item node.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you drag that
this one?
Yeah, to the right, and then do a game object set active.
Set active value, this guy?
Yeah, and then do the same thing. So for this, we're going to do the get variable. So the same thing that we did for the true statement, right? You can just search for like get door. Yeah. Door.
The door. Okay.
And then we're setting the value to null again.
All right. Cool.
So
null is unchecked, right?
Correct. Yeah. If it's not checked, it means like null. We're turning it off. You can see what this will look like. So if you go back into, you can save and close this script node.
Do I need to do anything to save explicitly, or will it auto save?
It should auto save, just like Command S, just to save Unity.
Okay.
Unity scene. But if you click on that door object again that you had selected,
yep.
So you see on the far right in the inspector, all the way at the top where it says structure door root, Vector door one root. Right to the left of that, there's a checkbox.
Yep.
So that's that set active variable. So if you click that, see the door.
Bye door.
Bye door.
Nice.
So that's what that's doing. It's basically checking or unchecking that box. So when it's checked, it's active, meaning it's visible. When it's unchecked, it's not visible. You're hiding it. This is also how sometimes, you can like play animations or particle effects and things like that. You can, of course, call the particle effect variable directly and play it. But again, may not be ideal for performance all the time, but it's kind of like a quick way to get some of these things working by turning things on and off in the scene. So that's basically what that's referencing, is the active variable on that game object.
Nice. Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So that's basically, so we set up an item, which was a ticket, made that available for purchase with spatial coins, and then had this trigger object in the scene, and then tied the visual scripting node. So if you go back to that trigger object in the scene, that one, so you can see on the right-hand side, we didn't have anything defined in the trigger event itself, like in on the on-enter event or anything that's visible there, but that's because we set up that logic within the visual scripting graph itself. You can have logic defined in both, but in this case, things related to backpack items and coins and currency is defined in the visual scripting logic. That's under the script. It's called script machine. So that was defined there.
Okay.
That's basically how that's done. So now we
Nice.
can test that out and cross our fingers that works.
Yeah, let's try it.
High level logic for how to connect those two.
Yeah, and so everything according to this looks like it should work. So if it's true, then it's going to set the game object active, and it's knowing it's the door, and it's going to make it be unchecked. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then if I purchase and succeed, it'll uncheck. Okay, cool. So I put it together. Show me to test or try and publish this guy now.
Let's test it in the sandbox. You should, I believe we pushed a release, an update recently that should allow you to test this in sandbox.
All right, fingers crossed.
To publish, but I'm just double checking our release notes. I think there.
Karina G in the chat. Yes, I will post a screenshot of the script graph on Discord. All right. I'm anxious. I'm excited to see if this works. It's gonna be a milestone for me.
If it doesn't, we'll have to figure out why. But that's part of testing.
Oh, this is good. This is better than we were doing earlier.
Yeah, we're in our scene here, so I just have to get over to the door. Nice jumping. What's up, Jayon? Jayon in the house. All right, so we had that trigger. We had that trigger right in front of the door. So when we walk up to the door, it should. It's not getting the backpack item. We can do some different logic here to basically like debug what's happening. So you see in the top right, there's a little red icon.
Yep.
So there's some errors happening here. So basically, that's saying that there's errors happening. It doesn't show you up front what those errors are, but if you look in your browser console and go into the console tab, you can see what those errors are. They may not always be like super obvious, but a lot of the time it should give some insight into what's happening here. Yeah, see, every time you go into the trigger, so there's something with our logic that is a little messed up, and now you're falling to your death. Yeah. All right, so let's see what that. You don't have to run in there again. Let's just see what.
Okay. All right. What this is.
Yeah.
let me get off this moving thing. All right, here we are. So it has
I can't. It's a little blurry. I mean,
lot.
It's like a little.
Even then, what about if I do this? Is this any better? Oh,
no.
What did I do? Sorry. Huh. Let's see if it's any more visible here. Probably. Okay, so we have it's a exception on event spatial trigger on enter. Input invalid operation exception. Input trigger on get backpack node can only be triggered in coroutine at energy.
That's the answer we needed.
Okay.
Good old coroutine, as LM said. Yes, I forgot to mention. So when you're doing the get backpack item or get backpack option, it has to be what's called a coroutine. Won't get into details of that because full disclosure, I don't entirely understand what it means, but there's an easy way. So if we go back into Unity.
Okay.
And then we have to open up that script node again. So if we go into that trigger and then edit graph, perfect. So if you click on the get backpack item node.
Yep.
And then in the top, is it the get backpack item node? I think it's up there. Or do the purchase shop item. Scroll up and then try the spatial trigger on enter. I'm trying to figure out where the on enter node. Okay. Yeah,
coroutine right here.
Just check that. There you go. And then save and let's test it again.
All right.
That should be all
checkbox.
Yeah, that's usually so that's the trick. So if something's not working and you're seeing errors in that little error box in your sandbox, open the browser console. And most of the time you should see those red errors there. It usually hopefully explains what that is. In this case, it was the logic in our, it wasn't even the logic in our visual scripting node. It was the lack of the identifying that trigger as a coroutine. And Jack, just to make sure you don't have the sandbox open in 2 tabs as well, because that causes some.
I do not.
Okay.
I don't think I do. Yeah. Let's hope not.
Mark, like it might be opening twice in this like window or something. All right, you're good. If it loaded, you're good.
Yep. Nice.
Cool. Let's go back to that trigger.
Yeah.
Get those
coins.
You don't have to collect the coins. You're doing it anyway.
All right, moment of truth. Oh.
Entry ticket was added to your backpack. All right, so it was added to. So the door opened. So like we had something work there, but it didn't work effectively because we didn't check your backpack.
I have the ticket now. Could it be because we're like on sandbox and there's no like coins connected technically? Like it just was like, oh, you don't have it. Here, take it. Maybe. Oh no, and now I'm getting frozen lag a little bit. Ruh-roh. I lost you, Jake. You're frozen for a sec. The internet today. The internet's acting up. I would say that was like a partial win because we didn't get any errors, but it didn't behave how we were thinking that it would or were intending for it to. You know? Jake's internet is out. Yeah. So he's gone. He will hopefully return though. Hopefully. Now I'm all alone with all you guys. Thank you all you guys for joining this stream today. This has been a learning experience for me, and I hope it's been a learning experience for you guys as well. Definitely, I feel more confident and comfortable with understanding the toolkit than I did before this stream today. I can't wait to go into spaces that you guys are going to make and be faced with having to buy an entry ticket. That's going to be good. It's going to be very good. No, I think that all the possibilities that are now, a possible. Yeah, I got you, creative. I'm in Unity now. Add backpack node. I would assume actually, well, did we use an add backpack node? We used just get and then purchase shop item. I think that, oh, yay. Jake is back.
Yo.
Welcome back.
In suspense.
Yes, I kept your seat warm.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Did you solve it?
Did not solve it yet, no.
That was
good. Is it the...
So basically we're getting so on trigger event so let's like walk through this.
Like this. Yeah.
Let's walk through this here. So we're getting the backpack item. So we need to check. So if it's owned, if it's false, then purchase it.
It's like doing it all at once. Like I was expecting to be prompted to purchase it.
Right. That's what it should be doing. When you do the purchase shop item, it should prompt for you. Like there'll never be a situation where you won't be prompted to effectively confirm like a spatial coins purchase before. Like you'll never spend coins without your own explicit permission or knowledge. Anytime there's that purchase shop, like obviously we're not calling the purchase shop item node here correctly. So anytime that purchase shop item node is encountered, there will be a pop-up saying, hey, you need to buy this item, which costs this much. You need to confirm that purchase. So for anyone that might be worried about that, like that is built into the logic of that. I think we're just not calling it correctly here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
So let's take it like one step back and instead of checking for the item, let's just have the trigger bring up the purchase dialog.
Okay.
So the get backpack item and then true, let's basically like delete that and move that out of the way or just disconnect it. So if you drag the on trigger event, drag that to purchase shop item. And then, and you can delete that. Oops. You should be able to click that and just hit delete.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I want this other arrow to not be there anymore. Maybe I can just... I'll do that for now. Oh, wait. Oh, come on.
Yeah,
fighting a scripting graph.
Yeah, it's always a little frustrating.
What if I
If you
delete
try,
that? There we go.
there we go. Yeah, we can add that back in later. So basically, we're just doing the on trigger enter and then purchasing that shop item,
Mhm.
and also drag the succeeded node from from the left to the right there. Yeah, see where it's highlighted.
See here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to purchase that shop item, and when it's successful, then it should be opening or basically setting that object value to. It should set it to null.
Yeah, I don't see the null box on there anymore though.
You want to just undo that for now. Let's test to see what happens. This is usually what I do. You can just do like Control Z or Command Z.
Yeah. Okay, it's there right now.
Yeah.
Yep. So the checkbox showed back up. Is it potentially a different arrow needs to go to that spot? Oh, I don't have to drag it from the get variable back over to the value.
So you're referencing it there already. See the line from the object to get variable.
Yeah.
So you're already referencing it there. So let's run this and see.
Okay.
Let's
test this.
Yeah.
This is good troubleshooting, trial and error. This is what it's really like.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's the real part of development, is troubleshooting.
Oh yeah. I should build in some loading music to the loading screen.
Yeah, we should have some background music on here.
All right, here we go. All right, the moment of truth.
Entry ticket was it's a sandbox. It's a sandbox simulation, so we're like simulating purchasing it. Oh, and now you fell off again.
So do you think if this was published, it would probably show different then?
Right, it would show. Yeah, so you saw the sandbox simulation. So we're basically going through and assuming that like the purchase was successful, and then opening the door.
And it does know that I already owned it, so it's like, oh no, you can't buy this. You already have it.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's checking.
That's good.
It's checking that you have that already. It's not stackable, right? So you can't have more than one. So you just have that one entry ticket, and then yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, so this is. Publish the space. It should then show the purchase coins dialog.
Nice. It would probably take too long to get that in. You want me to try it?
You can publish it. I think we'll start to close out. I'll see if there's questions in the chat.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it might take a few minutes, and so it'll go in with the queue, the rest of the community's queue. We don't have any like special fast pass access or anything.
No, yeah. That's all good.
Yeah, it'll probably take a little bit, but we can. I think I'll see if there's questions in the thread, but we'll definitely keep continuing this step. But this was just kind of the first steps of using a basic item, pricing in coins, and starting that logic of referencing it within the Creator Toolkit. Hey, you're welcome, Owls. Creative.
You're very welcome.
I always Creative, Owls, Eric, all the above. All that stuff.
The Web3 content creator you need to know. That's what it is. Yeah, we had a ton of people attend and join in. Thanks, Josh and YM and Chehan.
Exactly. Not getting to the farm without an axe. Yeah,
Chase.
we'll continue this, and we'll focus on other topics, this and other topics, going forward. Daniel, was the script graph source, embed, or graph? If you want to open up the visual scripting node graph again, Jack.
Yes.
It's publishing, so maybe you may not be able to open it. Okay.
Script graph.
The source was embed or graph.
Source graph here. Yeah. Script machine source graph.
Oh, that's what we're referencing. Yeah, it was graph.
Cool.
Indeed. If you have any questions, hit me or Jack up on the Discord. We'll get this link. We're gonna refine the space a little bit and get this link up so you can try it out as well. And this is being recorded, so for those who want to rewatch it, this will be up on the Spatial YouTube channel. So definitely go and check it out there if you want to rewatch.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining. Thank you, Jack, for being our screen share guinea pig.
Thank you, Jake, for telling me what to do every step of the way. So that was huge.
No problem.
I'm way better off than I was before this whole stream started. So grateful for that. And
that's what it's all about. So.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next. We're doing a stream tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be surf and spatial. So we'll be going through different spaces. So if you're building any spaces and integrating coins or world currency into it, if we already have it integrated, we'd love to check it out on the stream tomorrow. So definitely let us know on Twitter or on Discord what spaces we should check out. And we'll surf those on the stream tomorrow. And then we'll do another one of these developer live streams soon. Hope to make them a regular thing for sure. And let us know also what topics you want us to walk through. You need help with the toolkit. But all right, thanks everybody for joining. Thank you, Jack, and we'll see you.
Jake.
Spatial. Peace and love.
Peace out, everybody.